All right, we are back on sports. It's been a good weekend, for sports, and good weekend for me, apparently. Let me say this now before I get started. There will be no fighting segment this weekend at the end because some of you have requested that I speak on a specific issue at the end, so I'll have to cut that part out, to make room for it. And let me say this now. I didn't get a chance to see any boxing this week anyway, due to the fact that, as you can see, all weekend I've been busy. And trust me, these were all-day things. I will explain. Okay, so let's get started on that right now. Let's start off with the Spartan race, the Tri-State Spartan race beast. Now, as you know, all right, this was my first Spartan race ever going into it. And as you know, also last week I did the City Challenge race just as a warm-up to see what I'll be getting myself into. Now, this Spartan race beast, let me tell you this something now, all right? I did not know that this was going to be one of the toughest races. Not just that I've ever experienced, but overall. Because for what I heard afterwards, even the guys, the elite guys and girls that did the Ultra Beast and stuff like that, they were saying this is one of the top 5 most toughest courses, in Spartan, for what I've heard, Spartan history. Now, with that said, it took everyone a very long time to finish this race. Mind you, my heat started at 12:30. I didn't get finished till 8 o'clock. That's how long this was, okay? Now, let me explain. When you hear the term Spartan race, especially with this beast, I think it needs to be a little bit tailored, a little bit more specific, you know what I mean? I don't want to say Spartan race because you think, oh, you're running the whole time. You're not, okay? This is more of Spartan hike, with obstacles thrown in. That's what it is. So I'll put it like this. If you're experienced in hiking and you're going after this beast, you shouldn't have that many problems as opposed to the rest of us who don't hike or don't, you know what I mean? We were pretty screwed on this one. So let me explain. Last week I had said about the City Challenge race that there were so many people that were hyped up, they were pushing themselves, yeah, we got this. It was actually the opposite when it came to the Spartan race over the weekend. That's right. Everyone was nice. Everyone was calm. I will speak about the community in a minute. Before, we're at the starting line, because the last thing you want to do is you want to get so excited that you burn your energy up. You don't want to do that, all right? And I see that from everyone else, the community around. Everyone was just sitting around like, we're just waiting to turn. And, no one was real douchey about anything, no, we're all in the same boat here. We all got to help each other out. That's what it was, okay? I will explain. So when you get there, all right, you go to your parking. Unless you have VIP parking, you go to your parking, and they give you a shuttle, which is just a cheese bus, all right? And all the seats are covered in trash bags because they know by the time you come back, you're going to be dirty. They are expecting it. That's why they have the seats covered, okay? Now, mind you, the parking that you're having and to have, the cheese bus, the school bus, bring you to the actual event, it's only a block away. So it's not like you're going to be on it for a very long time, okay? It's only a block away. Then afterwards, you have to just make sure that you bring a bag with you, all right? So you have, at least, you don't have to have that much of a change of clothes, but bring something with you, you know what I mean? Also, a pen, they give you pens and stuff like that because you have to sign a waiver. It is a death waiver, just to let you know. I will explain that in a minute, okay? Just to let you know. And they won't let you go through this type of stuff unless you have your ID with you, all right? So you have to bring some things with you. And trust me, there's a bag check. You have to pay for a bag check, but there's a bag check, so you don't have to worry about that stuff getting stolen or anything, okay? So you can bring that stuff with you, bring a little bag with you, and that's it. Now, getting to the obstacles. Let's put it like this. The community. This community has to be, I would say, the best community I have ever been a part of. I have to say this because no matter what happened that day, someone was always there to make sure you were okay. The person you're next to, are you okay? You have to understand, all right? This is not just trail hiking or whatever. You're going up a mountain. You're going through all this stuff. And yes, there's somewhat of a trail, all right? Every step counts because if you slip and fall, you're pretty much fucked, all right? I can't tell you, and mind you, I wore braces. I wore 2 ankle braces the entire time. I rolled my ankle at least 20 times. Because you have to understand, this isn't flat, this is all terrain. You're not walking on anything flat, okay? And there's no concrete. So there's stones, there's jagged sticks, there's everything. So if you slip, and trust me, you can slip and fall. You can pretty much roll down a ravine at any time. You have to be very careful, which is why I mean every step counts, okay? Now, with this race, let me tell you now, you have to be very prepared. So the things that you will need, and I will talk about some other things you will need in the future, okay, in this video. You have to understand you will need a hydration pack. And for those who don't know what a hydration pack is, that is a backpack that has an actually bag of, water in it that you stick in your backpack. It actually has a tube that runs around, and you're going to sip on that for a while. Trust me, you're going to need that, all right? You're going to need a hydration pack They only gave you 5 water stations throughout 14.5 miles. Just letting you know, okay, for that beast. So, you're going to need a hydration pack. You're going to need the right shoes. Now, let me explain something. I got these shoes from Reebok. I got them on sale for $40, all right? Spartan shoes, okay? You're going to need these. The reason why I say you're going to need these is because if you can see the slats in here, when you're getting submerged in water and mud, that's going to drain the water and mud out of your shoe. So you don't have to walk around with it splashing all over the place because you're going to need that traction, okay? Now, I will say one thing, just to let you know, because it's all-terrain, and like I said, there's sticks, there's jaggeds everywhere. You're walking through all this mud. You're walking through all stuff. Let me show you something, all right? This is the first time I've worn these shoes, all right? See that? See that big hole in that shoe? Already ripped. I'm going to have to sew it up, but already ripped. I've done one event and I'm already ripped up because that's how tough it is. All right, you're going through ponds and you're going through lakes and you don't know what's going on. You've got mud up to here. All right, walking through it, and if anyone doesn't like not getting their hands dirty, then this is not the race for you. I'm just letting you know that now. Okay, but you got mud up to here. All right, and of course you say, well, when are you going to dry off or wash off? You don't worry about that. You just keep going, okay? Because you're eventually going to go to a cold water pond and walk across that anyway, and the mud will come off. However, I will express this right now. You should wear tights, long-legged tights, all right? Even if you have shorts on, over top of them, please wear those because I will let you know now. Walking through all those ponds and mud, coming out of that, I had tons of bugs latch onto my legs, all right? So I had to pretty much knock them off the tights because they were latching onto the tights. Also, wear gloves. Performance gloves, please. Don't try and go. I understand a lot of people like to go in bare hand. Trust me, you're going to be going through all types of stuff. There's people that tried to do it barehanded. Then they got to the rope hoist and it burned their hands up so bad. I would suggest you wear great performance gloves for this. I don't care if it's football gloves or just or gloves that are actually tailored for this rough and tough type of terrain. I would suggest you do that. Okay, wear everything compression. Compression socks, yes, you don't want to wear cotton because it's just going to weigh you down once you're in that mud. You want to wear compression socks, compression underwear, compression tights, leggings, a compression shirt. Some people do it with no shirt. Some people do it with long sleeve compression shirts on. If you don't want to wear no shirt, I would say I wore, as you saw in the picture that I posted on Twitter, I had a sleeveless shirt on, but it was compression, you know what I mean? So you want to wear that at least. Compression. That's all I can sit here and tell you. Trust me. You'll be saving yourself a favor. Trust me. When you're going 14.5 miles and you're in that 7th mile or whatever, you're going to start to feel it. You're going to start to weigh down. You're going to want compression. You don't want anything weighing you down more than what you already need. Okay? Obstacles, I will say, were pretty easy. A lot of them. I feel as though if you're not the type of person who trains, you're going to have to train for these type of races. You are. The obstacles were really fun. I missed the javelin, and actually they gave me a pass on it because with the spear, you're supposed to throw the spear, and you're supposed to hit the hay, which is the chest for the Spartan. When I threw the spear, it actually hit dead center in the head. And they gave me a pass on it, actually, because it hit the head and it bounced off, because that's my first time throwing it. Like I said, where do you go and practice spear throwing? Besides, do you know how many jokes I would get for a black person throwing a spear? Like, come on. So, yeah. So, first time throwing a spear, and, and it hit the target right in the head, the Spartan thing right in the head, so they was like, yeah, you know what? They was like, if there was hay there, you'd have made a pass, but we're going to give you a pass anyway. You don't have to do any burpees. Because that's the thing. If you miss an obstacle or you fail an obstacle, you have to do either 20 or 30 burpees, okay? I would like to say that I did not miss, I think I missed one obstacle. That was the wall, and that was because I was exhausted, and I think I had just missed it because I slipped. Once again, you have to make sure that you have the right shoes, and you have to say, these walls, the little things, if you're into parkour and hanging on and stuff, you'll be fine. But the wall I was doing, and I slipped, and I missed the bell, and I slipped, and I was like, you know what? Nah, not happening. You know what I mean? So I just did my burpees. Other than that, every other obstacle I did. There was not a problem. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's team building, like the hoist, they let you get in teams to hoist up, so that was fine. That was near the end. Everything else, monkey bars were easy, rings were easy, and it was great because they had you do the metal slots first, so you had to go across first, right? And then you had to go to the rings and then hit the bell. It was very easy. Upside down ladder I did because they had the upside down ladder and they had the upside down rope where you could pull yourself. But there was a line and a half, and they had so many of them. But it was too long, it was too much of a trail to wait. And that's the thing. You have to understand, when you hear race, you're going to think you're running. Not unless you're an ultra. You're not running. Regular beast, you're going to be walking a lot. It's a nature hike pretty much. So because there's so many people, you're not going to be able to run anyway, all right? Because you don't want to not run into somebody, knock them over to get hit by a tree or something like that. You don't want to do that, okay? So you just go to path, or when you see someone's holding up and they're taking time, you can probably go around them. Other than that, this is a lot of walking involved, okay? So don't burn yourself up, especially with the altitude that you're going up, because the hills are your greatest enemy. And you notice because you will have nightmares of these hills. These hills are straight up. That's all it is. So you will be using a lot of your lower body. You'll be using a lot of quads. Quads. You'll be using. You're going to feel a lot in your legs, a lot in your butt. This is why when you see women do CrossFit, you say, "Wow, look at her thighs," or you say, "Whoa, look at her butt." Yeah, this is why. Okay, you're going to have to do this a lot. And like I said, a mile going across, say if you're running a mile, is completely different than walking up a mile. And you'll be like, "Damn, it's only been a mile?" And you're like, "Yeah." So you got to keep going. Of course, you're eventually going to get to a flat terrain, and they bring you back downhill, which momentum will take you. Be very careful. But you also have to understand that these obstacles are, I felt they were great. I don't want to say they were easy. I don't want to say that, all right? They were great. I feel as though, I thought there was going to be more obstacles. There was 34 obstacles, all right? 34. A lot of them were wall jumps, so if you have acceleration, if you know how to actually jump, like for me, since I play basketball, I know how to jump and catch myself, and then you have to push yourself up, you know what I mean? That type of stuff, you're going to have to do. And these are like 7, 8 foot walls, so it's not that big of a deal. It's really not, unless you haven't trained for this. Of course, they also have assistance on hand to give you a boost if you need it. Cargo nets speak for themselves. They're easy, okay? But I will say, if there's a trick to cargo nets, because the way they have them set up at times, the easiest way to do a cargo net is if you do it near a tree, okay? Because it still gives you some type of stability. You have to understand, you have a number of people who across going up the cargo net as you. It's wobbly. You want to be something that's near something stable, okay? Also, memory test. Memory test was awesome. Yeah, for those who know what I'm talking about. I didn't know this was going to happen. It's my first time doing it. But what you do is, you're going to get through X amount of obstacles, all right, or miles. And then you have to remember a specific name and number code that they give you. You will not come across that memory test till probably 4 or 5 miles later, so remember your code. If not, they're going to stop you and ask you, and if you don't give it, because they have the chart, all right, they know it, because they go by your number. If you do not know your code, you will start doing burpees, okay? They will not let you go any further, okay? Also, I need to speak about this. If you're doing the beast, you have to understand that this is going to take a very long time, depending especially on who you are, and if you're running, if it's ultra or not. Let me get something straight. Nightfall comes after a while. And if you are not prepared for nightfall, and what I mean by this is, you need to have a headlamp and glow sticks. If you do not have a headlamp and glow sticks, no matter how many miles you have run that day or competed that day, by a specific time, they will take you off the course. That's right. So regardless if you paid for it, regardless how much you sacrifice your body for it, all right? I'm letting you know now. If you don't have a headlamp and you don't have glow sticks, they will pull you. And that will be the end of your day. No finished race. You will not get your medal. Nothing. No glory. Nothing. The beauty about this is that even though you're saying that's unfair, yeah, I feel it's unfair too. But here's the beauty of it. Your fellow Spartans will help you out. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people say, I don't have glow sticks or I don't have a headlamp, and other guys would have spares on them and just willingly give them to you. And just say, here, take it. And when they ask, what do you want out of return? They say, just finish. They didn't ask for anything in return. I tell you, the community for Spartans, the Spartan community is an amazing community. I did not see one douchey person just, you know what I mean? No, everyone is always helping each other out. If someone slips or falls, are you okay? Everyone is stopping to make sure. Because like I said, you're all in the same boat. This isn't, even though you're individually doing stuff, there is going to be teamwork involved. They care. They're making sure you get through. If you got to get through, they're going to get through it. Same thing. Okay? So, I will say this. When it comes to nutrition, even though you have your water pack, let me say this now. You're definitely going to need these. Those things are so damn good. Let me tell you, because they're only little gels, okay, like this. You get I think it's a pack of 6 or something like that, or a pack of 4, I don't know. But they're 98 cents each, okay? I bought 8 of those, and I bought 8 Cliff Bars. When I was done the Spartan race, I didn't use any Cliff Bars, and I only used 3 of those gel packs. So it goes to tell you, of course, and my water, my hydration pack wasn't even halfway done. So I didn't use that much of anything that I brought. But you want to make sure that you bring those things just in case. Because you're going to get to a point where you're going to get so high up on the mountain, because you're going to see people. They're going to sit down, and they're just going to sit there. and they're going to relax. You're going to have people also who want to take pictures. You're going to have people who just want to lay there because they're like, look, I'm tired. I'm laying down here for a minute. So it's one of those things where you want to make sure that you are stocked as opposed to running out of something. You want to make sure you have more than what you need. Trust me on this. And there was other people who ran out of stuff, who were just like, I don't have anything else yet, and I'm hungry. And once again, Spartans would dig in their bag and say, here, have this, eat this. Everyone was helping each other out. It is one of those things where I've never seen so much generosity in one race. And I feel as though the Spartan community, like I said, it's the best community. It is the best. You know what I mean? No matter what happens, you fall, you get hurt. People, I've seen enough videos online since the race of people getting hurt and, guys who were recording because a lot of people had GoPros on their head. You know what I mean? And they would stop and be like, are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? You have to understand that even though this is a race and you're signing a death waiver, they do have an ambulance, okay? They also have a helicopter just in case they have to fly in and pick you up from out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So they do have these things on hand. So everyone wants to make sure that they're safe and that they're okay. You're going to be out there for a very long time. All right? So you have to understand that. So it's a matter of endurance. It's a matter of stamina. And to be honest, I wasn't tired a lot of the time. There was one obstacle I was tired on. They gave you this bucket, right? And you filled it up with rocks. Now here's the thing. It wasn't carrying the bucket and going across that would have been a problem. No. It's the fact that I have you carrying this bucket and you have to go all the way uphill. So you're going all the way up like this, right? Then you got to turn the corner and come all the way back downhill with it. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And I felt it wasn't tiring, but I felt it on my lower back because of the angle that you're walking on. So I hurt my lower back, and I felt as though that really hurt. That kind of sucked a lot of energy out of me. And then, of course, right after you do that, you got to go right back uphill. You got to walk back uphill. So it's like, yeah, it's very taxing on the lower body. It is, as opposed to I felt as though the upper body. There wasn't that much upper body. Like I put it like this: if you regularly work out like upper body strength, I don't think you're going to have a problem with this race when it comes to upper body strength. I think you need to work on your lower body because a lot of it is going up hills. Making sure going up hills, going down hills, and lifting with your legs and stuff like that. When it comes to these type of like the Herculean hoist, when you pick up the big ball and you're walking with it, after you walk with it, you got to drop it down. You got to do 5 burpees, pick it back up, walk across again with it, and that was what 175 pounds, I believe it was that ball. But that was easy. I think as though it's one of those things where a lot of the obstacles, even though they're in your way, they're there. They're few and far between when it comes to the actual course because you're going so long and you're going up so many hills. And I remember I was talking with this Puerto Rican girl that was next to me. She was from New York because she was telling me how she did the stadium run in City Field, and we started talking about Phillies Mets while we were walking up the hill. And she's like, "Is this your first Spartan race?" I was like, "Yeah." She looked at me like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "I'd rather get the worst one out the way first." You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Doing this beast was the worst. Get the worst one out the way so you can do the rest of them with no problem. It was an overall great experience. I felt the community. Like I said, this is the best community I've ever been a part of, ever. And I'm very proud to say that due to the fact that, like, even afterwards now, I have so many Spartans that have contacted me via online, and, like, they talk to me, and, you know what I mean? And just, if you ever need any help, a guy sent me on Twitter the other day. He's like, if you ever need any help, let me know. I can help you out with some things, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. They are so nice, and they are so helpful. This community. It's not like the city race where, people were just blowing by each other. It was like, hey, I don't care about you. Climb over if they needed to. There was one problem during the race I did see. This one girl, and this is the only isolated incident out of 14 and a half miles. This one girl, we were under the barbed wire. And yes, it's real barbed wire for those who didn't know. Real barbed wire. You have to crawl under the barbed wire. Now, if you have a hydration pack, I would expect you to either hold it, all right, and climb, or roll. You hold it and roll under the barbed wire. Or put it on, take it off and put it on backwards where it's facing you so you don't have to worry about the barbed wire catching the back of it, all right? You don't want to do that. So, that's what you're doing. And this girl was trying to get ahead of everybody, trying to get through it, and she ended up kicking people as she was going along, and people were pissed off. And they started arguing, like, once they got through the obstacle, because you have to do the barbed wire twice, split times. And when they got through the barbed wire, they started arguing. They was like, that girl's a bitch. What the fuck was she thinking? Why would you kick me? And she didn't say sorry or anything. And that was the thing. I noticed if you're even walking the trail or whatever, if you bump into somebody, you're in someone's way, because they'll let you know on your left, on your right, because they're ultras. Because ultras were like ultra coming through. Ultras are running because they are based off of time. They have a specific place they have to be by a certain time, and if not, they fail. So yeah, they have to run. So if you hear ultra coming through on your left or where you see a group of people running through, let them pass. Let them go. Okay? Get out of their way. I'll put it like this. Every time anyone else was doing the beast or whatever, if they bumped into each other or they by accident touch something, because there's going to be times where you're going to slip and you're almost going to fall and you're going to put your hand up, whatever, and you're going to touch somebody, Always an apology. I'm sorry. No problem. Not a big deal. It was always like that. Everyone was very mild mannered. They were there. It was a great community to be around. It really was. I will say, would I do Spartan race again? Yes, I would. I believe this for beginners, for people who haven't done it. I would say start with a sprint. I would say that. I'm going for the trifecta this year. Since I've done this race now, I'm actually going to do more in trifecta. I'll be doing the trifecta, and then I'm going to do the stadium series. Because I feel as though that's something I want to, I should do, just to get, because there's different, because for those who don't know, you get different medals. I'll show you now. This is the medal you get for this trifecta, right? And they give you another chip with it. So as you can see, on the reverse, it tells you that, you finished. That's what it is. This chip adds to a bigger part of your puzzle. So if you do the other ones, you do the super and you do the sprint, these chips form another piece, as you can see, another piece of a medal. However, the stadium series is a completely different medal. So I'll be doing that as well. I would say that this race, Spartan race, I'm very glad to say that I've done this. It's an amazing thing, I feel. I would say for people who have never done a Spartan race, try it. I will say that there is one downfall, and I should say not one. There's two downfalls to this, okay? Near the end, you have to understand that this is going to be mentally taxing on you. Near the end, there were literally 2 obstacles left before you finish this race. This woman, this girl, young girl, she's doing the monkey bars, but she needs help getting up. So they hoist her up, fine, and she let her do it herself. And she was struggling. So her friend comes along and grabs her by the legs so she can keep going across. Now, the volunteers are telling them, do not do that, because there's going to be a problem if you do. Someone can get seriously hurt, and before they can finish, the girl slipped up the monkey bars, flipped around the girl, landed on her head, and all you heard was a thud on the ground. And everyone just stopped, and all you heard was, ooh. That's all you heard. You know what I mean? She sat there like this on the ground and just cried and cried and cried. Now, here's the thing. It was hard to watch because a lot of Spartans who were doing the monkey bars stopped, and they were just looking down. And they're like, what can we do? And the medical staff comes through, and they're checking on her. So they're like, okay, the medical staff is there, but they're still feeling bad for being kind of, for doing it while waiting. But what can they do about it? They can't do anything either. But you had a number of Spartans who stopped doing the monkey bars, dropped down, and made sure she was okay. You know what I mean? I think it was one of those things where even though it was a nasty spill, and it, of course you heard the thud. Mind you, you're on mud, so, you know what I mean? But still, nasty spill. I think it mentally broke her because it was so close to being finished. Seriously, you're right there, and then you crash and burn, and you think to yourself, it's all over. You know what I mean? And people were saying, you're hurt now, and then people are volunteering, look, we can pick her up. We can walk her to the finish line because you're in this together. I can't tell you, even, I believe it was mile 5, this one Asian guy, he was ripped. I mean, he had no shirt on, he was cut. And he made a joke, and he's like, can someone want to tell me why I signed up for this again? Why did we pay for this again? And he's joking. And this lady, very chubby lady, and he said, because Spartans come in all shapes and sizes. She turns to him, she says, I am 7 weeks in remission from cancer. She's like, if I can do it, you can do it. Put your pack on, and let's go, soldier. And he turns around and he says, yes, ma'am. I'm like, that's all that needs to be said. And that's the thing. They're all shapes and sizes. There was a guy who's 700 pounds out there doing it. So there's no excuse. People who just beat cancer. There was a guy I came across who only had, once again, just like in running, but it was the course this time, he's got one leg. He's got a blade on his leg. Like, it's amazing to see these things. And could you imagine trying to do it with a blade on your leg and having to deal with all those obstacles and slipping and everything? I don't know if there's something for that. I don't know. But to see something like that, for me, it tells me that that's inspiring. You know what I mean? It is great to see the camaraderie between everyone. And I have to say that even though we've seen the camaraderie, we're already starting to see the dark side of Spartan Race. Because after people get their medals, they're already trying to sell them on eBay. Who in the hell buys a medal that, for a race that they didn't participate in? Who does that? I can understand people who did it. They probably need the money and they have to sell their medal. But it's very quick to just say, hey, I did this race and I'm already selling my medal. That's absolutely ridiculous, but it's something you should be proud of because you accomplished so much. 14 and a half miles, all right, of torture. That's what it was, torture. At one point, you're probably going to be begging for death. You know what I mean? But I don't understand how someone would willingly buy a medal that they didn't participate, for a race they didn't participate in. What kind of individual does that? You go out and you earn it. That's what you do. However, Spartans, it's an amazing thing. I cannot wait to get back on that course and see, all these other people and see how it is, to get more experience, to see if all, people are like that when it comes to their races. Because that was just an amazing, thing to see people helping each other out. It was just amazing. Now I want to move on to the the Broad Street Run. Okay, let's talk about the Broad Street Run. Number one, it was horribly managed. Okay? Horribly managed. The Broad Street Run. Horribly managed. Sunday, it is bad out. Weather is bad. It is cold. It is pouring. And let me tell you something. When you tell people that they need to be there at 7:40, all right, and you're going to start at 8, and you don't start till 9, okay, because your corrals don't start till a specific time, why should I show up at 7:40 then? That's what I'm trying to figure out. See, the corrals weren't managed well, as opposed to other runs that I've been in. You know what I mean? Like the Rock and Roll Marathon was better than that. No, actually, that wasn't. I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember the ones that were managed well and the ones that weren't. If I go back in those videos, I have to see again. But I will say this for sure. This was the worst managed corral system. Like I said, you can't have people sitting around. That cold out, it's raining out. You've got people who are wearing ponchos. I will talk about that in a minute, okay? But the people are sitting around with umbrellas as well, okay? And they're walking around and they're jabbing people with damn umbrella. It's just like when you're walking on the street. If you have an umbrella, and it's not one of those things where you tell people, get out of my way, I have an umbrella. No, you have to watch where your umbrella's going because you may poke somebody in the eye or wherever in the head. You can't do that. You get these people walking around like this, umbrella jabbing people, not saying sorry, okay? Like I said, I'm out there at 7:30, so from 7:30 to 9, I'm sitting there like this, in the cold, in the rain. You gotta think, after the Spartan race, I didn't get home till late. I only got 2 hours of sleep, so I'm irritable, okay? So I'm ready to run. I mean, once I start running, I should be fine because I'll warm up because I'm running, you know what I mean? But we're just sitting there in the cold and the pouring rain like this. And it's absolutely ridiculous. You got these people with these ponchos on, and that's another thing. People with ponchos, all right? You had to be not only the most annoying people, but the least responsible people. Because the volunteers told you, if you have a poncho and you're going to take it off before you get ready to race, take it to the side. What do? You throw it right in the middle of the street so that when runners are running, either they have to go around it apparently, because if they step on it, they may trip, get caught up in it or slip and fall. So people with ponchos, you shouldn't be, as far as I'm concerned, it should be outlawed. You should not be allowed to wear ponchos during a run. You shouldn't be allowed to. It's absolutely ridiculous you would do that. Same thing with people who had cut-off trash bags on. You shouldn't be allowed to do it. If you're not going to be responsible enough to put it to the side or put it in the trash can. They had trash cans on the little medians at times where you could just throw your stuff there. You couldn't even do that, could you? No. Just throw it in the middle of the damn street and let everyone else have to deal with it, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourselves for that. But the run itself, all right, was good. I have to say this, out of all the courses in Philadelphia and all the races I run in Philadelphia, this favors even not just beginner runners, but experienced runners. This is nothing but flat terrain. Nothing, just flat. That's all it is. It's a flat running. Look, there's every once in a while you go a little dip, you go back up, and that's it. Maybe because it's under a bridge, maybe. But other than that, everything is flat. And then you go around the corner, around the City Hall, and then you go back up Broad Street. That's it. That's the only turn you make. Everything else is straight and it's flat. This course is probably the best course I've run because of the fact that it favors runners. You know what I mean? So you're running, and I put this, the mile markers was weird. I didn't expect them to do that. They had mile marker, it was 3, 5, 8, and then finish. Okay? 10. 3, 5, 8, 10. Even though you do 10 miles, you're actually doing like 10.5 miles because you got to run through the Navy Yard, but you also got to get 2, 3 blocks before you get to the starting line, all right? Yeah, so because of corrals. So about 10.5 miles. Not bad. You know what I mean? So I think this, the water stations. Now, mind you, I'm coming from a Spartan race the day before. They only gave you 5 water stations in 14.5 miles, okay? To the Broad Street Run, they gave you water stations. I mean, they just gave you water stations just to give you water stations. It got to a point where I had to start skipping water stations because if I'm drinking too much water, you can get bloated and it'll slow you down. So, trust me, it happens, okay? Whether you're having Gatorade or you're having water or they're giving gels and they're giving Cliff Bars and stuff, you definitely want to make sure that you have a good pace. And mind you, I always say you're supposed to stop at every water station and have something to drink. But when you have that many water stations, you don't need that much, all right? Especially for a person like me who doesn't drink just 1 cup. Like when I stop at a water station, I get 2 cups. Because I don't expect to have another water station for a long time. You know what I mean? So I get 2 cups. And then I see all these water stations popping up. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I don't need water. Let's just keep going. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. The finish line was a mess. It was a mess. Now I'll explain. You know what? Before I explain that, let me talk about the local support, okay? The runners weren't bad. They had their lanes set up straight. So, right lane, they decided was going to be the walking or stopping lane. Left lane in the middle, middle of the pack, and then left lane, you can pass people. That was great. There was no incidents whatsoever the entire run when it came to that, all right? There was no pushing. There was no bumping into each other. You know what I mean? And people, they were fine, okay? That's out of the way. Let's talk about the end of this race, which has to be the most, I'm going to say this, it's a big clusterfuck. It is, all right? You get to the end of the race. Now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, as usual, get to the end of the race, you get your medal or whatever. No. You get to the end of the race, there's all these water stations on the right, you have these mobs everywhere, because everyone's just stopped, okay? On the left, sorry. On the right, you get your little worthless little thing, I don't know, the little tin sheet cape, the cape. Worthless in this case because the wind was so bad and the rain was so bad, it did not help you. It didn't, okay? So you go to get your medal. You got to go around first to go get your medal, and you're walking in the mud and you're walking in the grass. Mind you, it's pouring out, okay? You get your medal. No problems with the medal. The medal's nice. Not going to, complain. Has a beer was a bottle opener on the side. Not going to complain about that. So, Broad Street Run, nice. They did a good job. Now, I will say this. This is where it gets bad, and it's absolutely atrocious, and I feel as though whoever decides to manage this should be fired. Yeah, because you're going through the tents, you're going to get your, soft pretzels, you're going to get your little bag with all your little goodies in it, bananas and stuff. Not a problem there. Don't have a problem with that. Now, mind you were past everything. You're in the Navy Yard. They're supposed to have shuttles to bring you back to the stadium so that you can get on the train for free. Because the Broad Street Run, if you're participating, they take you up to Olney for free. And mind you, people, you have to understand, when I got to Broad and Walnut, it was nice and it wasn't that rainy. It was all right. It was drizzling, and it was kind of warm. Take the train up to Olney up north. Guess what? It's pouring. It's raining. It's cold as hell. It's windy. Yeah, you're gonna deal with that, and it followed you down as well. Okay. So, regardless, you're supposed to have shuttles to take us back to the stadium so that we can get on the train and go home. Mind you, their shuttles, once again, I don't know why I keep calling them shuttles, they're cheese buses, so school buses, all right? They have no idea what's going on. The drivers don't care about the people that's sitting out in the cold. There's literally bus drivers with with the bus closed, the door closed because they're cold. They have their window open, and people are asking them, are you going to take people to, the stadium? Yeah, but not just yet. Okay, so can you at least let people on so they can get out the cold and get warm and stay out the rain? No. What? Are you serious? People, there was one time where there was a bus that was open. No driver was on, so we're thinking, the driver is, because the door's open, wide open, the driver will be back. We all huddle onto the bus, and we're sitting there for 10 minutes, and we're seeing all these people going by. What the hell's going on? Where's this driver at? Oh, yeah, we forgot to tell you. That bus is broken down. Okay, so why is the door open, or why isn't there a sign that says, this bus is broken down? You got us sitting on the damn bus for no reason. Come off the bus. And they said, don't worry about it. We're going to bring a bus around for you, specifically for you people, okay, that were sitting on the bus, so you can go to the stadium. Bus comes around, all these other people who were waiting for bus, because like I said, it's just catching random buses. That's all it is. They're running over to the bus, The guy lets them on, and the rest of us that were on that bus, yeah, we don't get on the bus because it's already crowded. Yeah. So we're like, well, we were the people who were originally supposed to be on that bus. They ran over from over there, right? He says, not my problem. My bus is full. All right, so mind you, that's about 20 of us that are walking away. So the bus is full, and we're all walking, we're looking back. He opens the door again, and he takes 10 more people. So can you imagine our anger? Could you imagine me cursing? Yeah. It was an absolute joke. This one lady was like, let me get this straight. You people are being paid time and a half to do this. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how to pick up people. You have no assembly of line up for buses. No assembly. And you just come up in the parking lot. You don't know where you're going. Random people jump on a bus. You take them to wherever they say you're supposed to go. Because you don't know where to go. Yeah. Some people, mind you were supposed to go to the stadium. You know what happened? Some people ended up going to Xfinity Live. Yeah. Which is across the street from the stadium, but still. He took them to Xfinity Live. He didn't even know where to go. So what happens? Majority, and I say this very, very, I won't say it's loosely. I won't, because you can see the lines of just gouges of people. You end up walking back from the Navy Yard all the way to the stadium, through the stadium, Wells Fargo, or around it, to the train station. So yeah, your shuttles, they suck. And the people who work there, they suck. And whoever tried to organize this, they deserve to be fired due to the fact that they had no idea what the hell was going on. What did you think? With over all those thousands of people, that you would have no type of organization whatsoever, and you thought that was going to be okay? You thought it was going to be okay? Yeah. I will say, at least SEPTA did their job right. Yeah, I know, SEPTA, they did their job right, and they actually had the trains prompt them on time. They're used to this type of stuff because, people coming back from the stadiums, whether the team wins or loses, they know how to handle large crowds when it comes to their train, or somewhat handle them. So their system was a lot better than just random cheese buses and, and nobody knowing what they're doing or knowing where they're going, or it pissed me off so bad. That was the worst part of the day. It wasn't just the beginning. So the race, the actual race, and the local support, amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, local support, people came out and cheered. So many people. I haven't seen this many people come out and cheer since the Rock and Roll Marathon and, and Ocean City half marathon. So the local support was there. It was amazing to see. That was great. Some of the signs were great. You know what I mean? Like I said, I saw that one sign again where the girl's holding it up and it says, if you're having a problem running, pick a nice butt and follow it. And, you know what I mean? There's some repeats that you saw. But, from other races. But it was a great community. Out in the pouring rain, they came out and supported. So I have to say that's an amazing thing. It wasn't just, diehard racers. There were, elderly out there. There were kids out there. Volunteers. Everyone was great when it came to that point. You know what I mean? The beginning of the race was the worst. Well, we'll say the worst. The end of the race was the worst. The beginning of the race was really, really bad. Even the MC, he was like, yeah, we've got a nice day out here today. And he's like, and I know that we're behind. I know that everyone's cranky. I know that we're not doing this right. But please stay calm. They admitted that they had a problem in the beginning. Like I said, when you're sitting out there from 7:30 to 9, you know what I mean? You got to admit something's wrong here. And the thing is, you think they would take more cue from other races, that they have around. Because, they had helicopters and everything to make go. I'm thinking to myself, other races have done this, with more people without all these resources. I don't know. But the Broad Street Run, would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. I would say if you're a beginner runner, by all means, try to get into the Broad Street Run. You have to understand that the Broad Street Run is not just something you can sign up for and just say I'm in. It is a lottery. So you have to sign up early. So this is one of those things where if you know the day that they're going to do the lottery, sign up for the lottery, and then you're not going to hear anything for a number of weeks to know if you got in or not. That's how it works with the Broad Street Run. It's not like any other race where you can just sign up, pay some money, and say I'm going to participate. It's not like that. You have to, pretty much be in that. And the thing is, other people who signed up with multiple accounts, they had multiple times they got into the lottery, they had multiple passes or whatever, and before you know it, you start seeing people start selling them on eBay and stuff. People were paying $500 just to get into this race. That's right. So if you got caught, you got in the lottery and you say, okay, I paid $40 to get into the lottery or whatever, and they took your money, for $40 and you participated, you made out well. You did, compared to people who pay like $500 just to compete, to participate. Just letting you know that, okay? Now let's move on. Like I said, Broad Street Run is an amazing experience. The beginning was horrible, and the ending was so bad, I feel as though somebody should be fired. The race overall was amazing. I felt as though it was great. I feel as though other people should participate in this. It's only 10 miles. And I know you're saying, oh, it's only 10 miles. Trust me, it's only 10 miles. It goes so fast. It does. You don't even realize it. And trust me, no one's going to get on you for walking if you need to. Nobody. There was a number of people that were walking, and they were still being cheered on. They were. Okay? So it does not matter. Like I said, this is one of those things where this is something you should be proud of to do. You know, if you want to get in the run, this is the race you should start off with. I mean, if you're not going to do any 5Ks and you want to do this is the one you should start off with. It really favors runners or beginners. It really does. Let's move on. Let's talk about Philadelphia some more. Let's talk about the NFL draft. That's right. Eagles got their man. That's right. And I know I see a lot of people as of late sitting and saying that we're not sure if this quarterback is going to be the quarterback in the future. After with Sam Bradford, what happened with him, you know, he was complaining about it and then decided now he wants out of Philadelphia because he doesn't want to compete for a starting job. And people, even Kurt Warner came out and said, Sam Bradford, they've already told you, you are the starter. You are the guy. This is for the quarterback of the future. If you feel as though you are the future, then guess what? Prove it. You're getting a lot of money. What's the problem? You're supposed to be a competitor anyway, aren't you? You think you just take your ball and go home? Is that what it is? Because that's what it sounded like right now. And as far as I'm concerned, you have to understand that we don't appreciate that here in Philadelphia. That is not what we're about. You have to compete regardless. You thought you were just going to be handed the starting quarterback? Is that what happened last year? Did Chip Kelly just hand you it? No, you had to still go through preseason and see what was going on because they was pushing Tim Tebow to the moon. Let's not forget this, okay? But Sam Bradford, you want to be traded. You feel as though you've been stabbed in the back after giving you all that money. Now you've been stabbed in the back. And for those people who do believe in Sam Bradford, which I haven't seen many, all right, and say that this guy Wentz is not going to be the guy that we need, you know what? Let's look at a little bit about Wentz if you don't know anything about him.
Watch this kid play. You see him take the game over at the line of scrimmage. Hey, it's a blitz, national championship game. Change the play, change the protection, and make a throw in a tight window to determine the outcome of the game. I love that. And he's a dual threat. He's going to use his snap count, a dummy count, to see the blitz coming. And when he recognizes it, he can audible not just to another play, but to the best possible play like a quarterback power, and he has the athleticism to finish it. He's a dual threat. He's been well trained. He has the physical attributes. Good luck.
Wait a minute, we got a quarterback who can work in an audible and not just to any play, but to the right play? Oh man, Chip Kelly would have been mad about that. I'll put it like this, all right? This is as far as I'm concerned, until we see more preseason, I'm okay with this pick. He's the guy. I'm for it as far as I'm concerned. Because after what Sam Bradford did, you can trade him. I said this before the draft. You can trade him for some tackling dummies as far as I'm concerned. Y'all know how I feel about Sam Bradford, and especially that he's showing a lack of heart. Right now, he doesn't deserve to be here. He doesn't. And you know that. I don't care if you think he's the best option or not. The fact is, you cannot sit here and complain about your situation. When they've already told you you're going to be the starter regardless. But that's not enough for him. No, that's not enough. Now he just doesn't want to compete. What made you think, you getting soft? Do people not understand? Does Bradford not understand, I should say, that you haven't been in this league long enough to make those type of calls that I don't want to compete for my job? Your entire job is based off of competition. But Wentz seems to be ecstatic about this. Because for those who don't know, afterwards, he decided, hey, I'm going to take right to Eagles Twitter and let them know, I'm here, I'm ready, I want to work, let's do this. And it seems like the other players are also happy about it as well. And now that we have our pieces, all right, we got, our quarterback, and now, of course, we drafted, an offensive lineman, I believe, so for some protection, I believe that's what it was. I feel as though this is something that we needed. This is going in the right direction. For those who were upset about the gamble that we were taking, even though it's a gamble, I feel as though if you're going to get the best possible, out of it, best possibility out of that gamble, they did what they needed to do. That's what I feel. As far as I'm concerned, Sam Bradford can go. Eagles fans, like I said, we will still see what happens in the preseason. It's going to take a while for this kid to, to get to where he needs to go. But I think they're going in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. And I put it like this. Eagles fans, like I said, you've got those Eagles fans who are wildly against it, and I had to show you a clip of that. Now I got to show you the Eagles fans who are wildly for it. Because I'm still trying to figure out, Eagles fans, you haven't learned your lesson yet, have you? You haven't learned your lesson. And I say this because why are you still getting tattoos that we're going to be the Super Bowl champs in 2019? Just stop. Please stop. You're hurting us. You're making the fan base look, oh, God. Why would you do something like that? Come on, man. Regardless of how you feel about your team, like if you just want to get an Eagles tattoo, that's fine. Don't play yourself by just saying Super Bowl champs. Don't do that. Just get it covered up. Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You know what? Let's move on to more of the draft. And I have to say, the Cleveland Browns, given the trade and the gamble that we've taken, Cleveland Browns made out pretty good. So I can't even say anything about that. They did what they needed to do. Also, I will say the biggest joke of them all, the laugh of them all, has to go to the New York Giants. So let me get this straight. You go and draft a quarterback. You go get Apple, all right? Then you find out that Apple hates he hates the Giants. He hates the New York Giants. So you drafted a guy who doesn't even like you, all right? Then they start going through his Twitter. And he talks about how it sucks to be a Giants fan today. And mind you, he had to delete the tweet because people kept getting at him about it, right? Then he talks about how he hates the Patriots and he hates the Giants. But he hates the Giants so much that he's going to root for the Patriots. Then he talks about how he's rooting for the Eagles, and then when Giants fans jumped all over him, he's like, I'm not an Eagles fan. And the Eagles fans are like, yep, well, guess what? That's not what your resume say. You have to understand that this guy, and if anyone has seen the footage of this guy, all right, because they were showing all the highlights of him, all he does is hold. It's pass interference all day. That's all it is. I don't know how you can pass interference all day and get picked so high in the draft. I don't understand that. Because in the NFL, he's going to get called for that every time. Every time. That's not even a fight at the line. It's not. You're 10, 15 yards down the line, and you're grabbing, the shoulder pads here. Like, no, that's holding. You can't do that. That's pass interference. You're going to get called every damn time. Giants fans, you did right during the draft, and you went after this guy, and you shut him up. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. And every time he said something, you made sure, because he was talking about Odell Beckham, how he's not that good. And yeah, I'm telling you, he was just, if you look at his Twitter feed, on how he just bags on the Giants, and then he gets drafted by them, and Giants fans are showing this stuff, I'm like, oh, this is too good to pass up to see. You know what I mean? Giants fans, you're going to have a war in your hands this year. Because something tells me, there's two things. Either he's going to get better, and for some reason people will just forget about it, or it's going to be like I think it's going to go, this guy's going to get dusted. He's going to get dusted every game, and Giants fans are going to jump all over him, and I'm looking forward to it as far as I'm concerned. This is something that, it was just priceless entertainment that day. I was just sitting back like, oh, I can't wait for this. You know what I mean? And we're going to see it throughout this season. So not only are you going to have Odell Beckham Jr. and Norman go at it with the Giants and Redskins, now you got to worry about if Apple's going to be able to survive on the defensive end. This is going to be amazing. I'm just saying. But the draft overall was pretty good. The Jaguars, I felt, the Jags did pretty good. I didn't get a chance to see most of the draft. Like I said, I was preparing for this weekend, the Spartan race and the Broad Street Run. Same thing, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see much boxing anyway, much sports when it came to that. But I did get a chance to see some baseball. And I think we need to move on and talk about baseball before I get started on the Philadelphia Phillies, all right? Let me say this now. Dee Gordon. For those who don't know, Dee Gordon has been suspended for PEDs. I believe they call them 2 different forms of performance-enhancing drugs. Now, mind you, this guy, I believe he won the batting title last year. And he signed a big contract, what was it, 5 years for $50 million, something like that this year. And he's already been suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. I believe that he'll have to surrender $2 million, I believe, or something like that. And it's amazing because $50 million, $2 million, I don't know. I don't know how far, I don't know if those reports are true, but so far that's what I've seen. And why is this a thing? Why do players still think they can get away with this in baseball? We've seen this time and time and time again. Why are you doing this? And I understand that a lot of people, when they see performance-enhancing drugs, they always think, oh, well, this guy's going to get really, really big, and he's going to, he's going to try and bash the ball out the park. Or when a pitcher does it, he needs to speed on his pitch, so it's steroid for steroid. But you have to understand, with smaller batters, no, it makes them faster. It makes it there's different types of performance-enhancing drugs that will help them, and it's not always about knocking balls out the park. So, as far as I'm concerned, as I do with every other athlete, he cheated the game, and as far as I'm concerned, I have no respect for him whatsoever. And I'll never root for him or respect him ever again. Because you shouldn't have to cheat the game to win. Alright? I understand you're on, was it the Marlins? But come on. You've got to be kidding me, Dee Gordon. You should be ashamed of yourself. Really should. And you know what? At this point, even though you didn't get caught last year when you won the batting title, you never now. This is, the suspicion is that you had him during the batting title. So why must you cheat the game towards other players that do it correctly? I just absolutely hate that. But people who are doing it correctly, let's talk about right now. The Philadelphia Phillies. I find it interesting that a lot of us, and even the Phillies organization themselves, didn't think that the Phillies would do so well. Put like this. It's so funny because they even put out a newsletter saying that they're exceeding expectations. At this point, it doesn't matter what happens with the Phillies. They're actually winning games. They're 15-10? Whoa, they're over 500. I can't even be mad. So as far as I'm concerned, congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm hoping that this keeps going because you know what? It gives us fans some hope because a lot of us, like I said, even the organization didn't think, hey, we didn't expect anything this year from the Phillies because they're such a young team. We don't know, those pieces. I mean, we know we got some great prospects out, trades and stuff. But we didn't know what to expect because we don't know the level these guys are going to play with. Not to mention, we don't know how long this will last. We don't know if these guys can go X amount of games and keep doing this, consistently. If guys will get burned out or not, and, all these injuries. We've already seen people who are out, with injuries. So could you imagine if they were actually playing how well they would even be even better? And I find it funny because when we played against the Nationals, I remember Jonathan Papelbon, because we lit up Papelbon the first time we met them, and Papelbon's like, well, we won the series, so it doesn't matter if they lit me up, you know what I mean? And that was his thing. And we were just like, okay, so you want to go that route. And yeah, remember, the Nationals, they won that series, and even their fans, Nationals fans, have to ask you, you got to tell me, what is up with your fan base doing things like this? Bruce Harper, not Bryce Harper, Bruce Harper. So you came 4,000 miles to see a man that you don't even know his name. Nats fans, explain. Explain. Please explain. This is what I'm talking about. And this thing is, like I said, Pat was like, well, we won the series. Yeah. So we played you last week, and what happened? We swept you, and we knocked you around, Jonathan Papelbon. So what's up? Seriously, give the Phillies their credit. Just give them their credit. And I know, no one expected this. Even our rivals were like, yo, are the Phillies are they really this good? And we're just like, we don't know, but we'll take it. You know what I mean? And that's how it should be. You know what I mean? So, Phillies baseball has been really fun as of late to watch. I'll tell you what hasn't been fun to watch, though. The NBA playoffs. I told you last week, I can't trust the referees doing their stuff. And, of course, the NBA playoffs have been a joke. They have been. I watched, Charlotte Hornets. Let me say that right now. The Charlotte Hornets, I got to give you got to give some respect. I got to give you respect. Miami had you down 2-0. You came back. You tied. You almost had a chance. You had a chance to knock out Miami. Miami, won in Game 6. And you know what? If anything, I'm going to blame that fan that's in the corner because you shouldn't rile up D Wade like that. You shouldn't. But regardless, all right, Miami beats you and everyone's making fun of you. Look, you were a young team who just got into this. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to give you the credit you deserve, all right? Now, that's number one. So, respect to the Charlotte Hornets. You put on a hell of a series. You did. You made Miami's fans for a minute was like, wait a minute. You put some worry into them. So, I'll give you that. Charlotte Hornets, at this point, if you keep building on what you're building, this is going to be a great team for the future. It is. So, you can't be mad at all. I understand you took them to the limit. You did. Now, I need to talk about the Toronto Raptors, which became so predictable on what was going to happen with the Indiana Pacers, okay? You won Game 7 at home. You got Drake around there. They're literally pushing on TV this image that says, Toronto, Game 7. They never won a Game 7 at home, and Toronto hasn't won a series since 2001, and they are pushing this in your face. Game 7 in Toronto. Did you think the Raptors were going to lose? No. Just like Game 7 in Miami. Did you think the Heat were going to lose? No, I didn't see it. That's what it feels like. And once again, it's bad enough that you got referees blowing calls. But then again, the Griffin Force flop of the week. That's right. It goes to the Raptors. Because you've got to be kidding me that you thought this was going to be okay. Don't tell me this is okay. Look, Paul George, does he extend the arm a little? Yeah. But you're not knocking down the... Come on, stop. You know what? Let's just roll the clip. Let's roll the damn clip.
Good with his left hand once he gets into the paint. He's provided a lift for Toronto with Lowry on the bench. 8 to shoot. George
shoulder, barely pushed off. That man, you know how much that man weighs? There's no way you can tell me he knocked him all the way up that far. It is a flop. It is a joke, and this is what people cheer. The NBA playoffs are a joke, especially more of a joke for those who don't know. So when the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, yeah, you gotta talk about this. All right, yeah, the absolute joke. Two things here that are a joke. All right, Jason Terry, do not guarantee Game 5. You don't go out there and do that. What's wrong with you? You don't go out and guarantee Game 5. All right, what happened? What happened? Where's the Rockets now? We talked about this not too long ago about the Rockets and this sideshow. Well, what you doing? No, you lost. That's simple. You're done. However, what's even worse, it's not just the playoffs or the games or the players guaranteeing wins or the flops. No, the reporters. Let's talk about this. All right. For those who don't know, Draymond Green had to go off on a reporter because of his yellow journalism. And yes, that's what I'm calling it. Yellow journalism, trying to bait him into saying something bad about the city of Houston when they are going through a flooding problem. That's right, when people are losing their homes and dying.
Okay, Draymond, here's an interesting question. So last year you visit us. Game 3, there's no flood. You win. Game 4, there was flood. You lose. And this year you visit us. Game 3, there's a flood. You win. Game 4, there's no flood. Game 3, there's flood. You lose. Game 4, there's no flood. You win.
Brother,
so
you asked me about the flood in practice the other day. You know, and I said I pray for the city of Houston because you don't want to see anyone go through that. I feel like you keep trying to get at like us hitting threes or something, and you're trying to get a controversial statement out of me, but you're not, because I feel sorry for the people of Houston. People are losing their homes, losing their cars, losing their lives, losing loved ones, and you're trying to get a controversial statement out of me about the threes we're hitting. I know what you're getting at, but you're not getting that out of me. It sucks. If I was from Houston, I'd do anything I can to help the city out. And I'm sure some of those guys are going to do what they can to help the city out. And you saw a donation the other night. It sucks. Stop trying to do that. That's not cool, man. You keep asking me the same question about this flood. These people are losing their lives, bro. Losing their homes. Don't ask me that no more, because it ain't cool. And you're not getting the statement you want out of me. That's not cool, man. Stop doing that.
And Green is absolutely right. Let me say this, all right? This is a good example of why people like Kevin Durant say, I don't like the media. Or other players say, I don't want to talk to the media. Because when you try these type of bait tactics, you're really showing that you have no heart. You just literally use the city of Houston and people losing their homes and people dying and things to try and bring it to sports. And try to, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, I have to ask you that. I also have to ask you, where did you get your credentials from to even be there to ask these type of questions? It's one of those things where when you see players say, I don't like the media, I don't talk to the media or whatever, and then you have people in the media, you know, like Stephen A. Smith, you better check my resume, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. When they have to deal with things like this all the time, and I'm talking about the players, this is from the players' perspective, they have to deal with these type of things all the time, then you wonder why they don't like the media or talk to the media. Because when you try to get a controversial statement out of them, what happens? It'll be ran on every syndication, every TV, every radio. You're going to have everyone come down on them and throw dirt and just dogpile on the players. I don't like this player because he said this, blah, blah. This is what you get, all right? So when the players decide they don't want to talk to the media, they get fined. If the players actually tell you the real and say, you know what, I'm tired of this, I'm going to tell you how it is and why you're wrong, they get fined. Because God forbid if they say something wrong about the refs or whatever, they get fined. Should we talk about how Des Bryant not too long ago went off on a member of the media? And what did they say? Well, Des Bryant was wrong for doing that because that's a guy who's respected in the media, blah, blah. And media will back its own people, of course. All right? But they don't realize that Des Bryant was just very passionate and he's just frustrated and things of that nature. And that's what he just lashed out. But they don't want to see it that way. You know what I mean? Players have this problem with the media because the media, like I said, once again, they feel as though, we've seen it time and time again, they feel as though they're just as important as the players they are reporting on. And they're not. They're not. Because without those players, you wouldn't have a damn thing to report. You are just a person reporting a story. I don't care how many stories you break. You are just, you're not that important as opposed to the overall grand scheme of the sport. Just like when you say players, players are important, but they're not as important as the actual sport. You know what I mean? And there are some places where some people say, well, basketball isn't the same without Jordan or whatever. You're going to hear these type of things. You know what I mean? But you should know, one person is not bigger than the sport. Media is not bigger than the players. It's that simple. That simple. But the fact that this guy said something that he should be fired, you know what? Link will be in the info bar. He was fired. And I know a lot of people say, don't you think it's a bit harsh? No, I don't think it's a bit harsh. He knew what he was doing. And here's the thing also, okay? You should know that this isn't the first time somebody's done this. Players deal with this all the time. All the time. They do. And this is why they're so guarded. But nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean? And of course, the media will, once again, since this happened, this was just an isolated incident. It's not an isolated incident. This happens all the time, man. This is why these players... Alright, whatever. It just seems like this is something that's just not going to end. Because guess what? The next time, someone will ask him something else stupid. It may not be Draymond Green, maybe someone else. But we see this all the time. And like I said, you got to take responsibility. They did the right thing by firing that man, alright? They did. He was out of bounds, alright? But you also have to understand that there are many more just like him. There are. Now let's move on, and let's talk about more of the playoffs. Let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because Cavs fans, once again, you have a bandwagoner amongst your kin, you should say. And it seems like this person, I should say we know, he's a known bandwagoner. He's known. But this time, he's made it so apparent that he's a bandwagoner that Cleveland fans are saying stay away. And for those who know I'm talking about basketball fans, talking about one Justin Bieber, okay? Yeah, Justin Bieber. Because he wants to say that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win the championship, and he's going to wear a LeBron jersey. But here's the problem with the LeBron jersey. He still thinks he's in Miami. That's right, because he's wearing number 6 and not number 23. Cavs fans, do me a favor. If Justin Bieber shows up to one of your games, kick him out. Right out, as far as I'm concerned. Listen, we've seen this from him before, okay? But not just him. We've also seen it from Lil Wayne. We've seen it from Drake. Toronto Raptors fan now. Remember before when we found him in the club? When he was with LeBron and all that? Yeah. Acting like his girlfriend? Yeah. We've seen these things time and time again. Bandwagoners on top of bandwagoners on top of bandwagoners. You have to understand that the NBA playoffs are already a joke, but when you have these bandwagoners come around, it actually makes it look like a circus. And we've talked about these New Age fans before, about how, they don't have a team, they have no team loyalty. Because remember, that's what, with basketball or sports in general. You stay with your team, you root for your team, you have faith in your team. No matter how bad they're losing, you still stick with your team. These New Age fans, I don't have allegiance to any team. I just follow certain players. I'm a LeBron fan. I don't care where he goes. I'm going to follow him. It's like, what? I don't understand it. I think it's absolutely stupid. All right, but you can't just. It's okay to be a fan of said player, but you don't have to worship anybody. You know what I mean? Just go wherever this person goes. It's disgusting. All right, it is. But that's how it is. This bandwagon cult these days is just, it hurts sports in general. I feel as though it hurts a lot of things, not just sports, when you have a bandwagon cult. But let's be honest here. Let's just stay on the bandwagon stuff, shall we? Let's stay on it, all right? Let's talk about Leicester City. We've seen a lot of people out of woodwork come out of nowhere. Leicester City, Leicester City. I'll put it like this. I want to say congratulations to Leicester City. All right, because of the fact that they're getting ready to win. I mean, your celebration's been put on hold, right, until Chelsea plays the Spurs, I believe. So, there's that, all right? But as a Chelsea fan, let me say congratulations, because regardless, and I will say this, anybody who appreciates hard work and determination, regardless how much money your club has, you have to respect what Leicester City has put together this season, especially after last season, they were almost relegated. It is one of the biggest turnarounds we have ever seen, and as far as I'm concerned, they deserve all the credit in the world. For what we saw not too long ago, where that person was saying, remember they had the secret meeting about how Leicester City didn't deserve to be in Champions League, and rather would have Manchester United there because they're a bigger club, is absolutely ridiculous, all right? This is what you get when hard work prevails, and they deserve it. All right, like I said, that's what you should root for. It doesn't matter if they're an underdog. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If hard work is put in, respect that hard work. That's what you should do. These people just coming around out of the woodwork now because they're the flavor, and I hate to say flavor of the month, but because they're the ones who are going to win this year, now all of a sudden everyone's a Leicester City fan. Shout outs to the real Leicester City fans who've been with their clubs even though they've been losing throughout, whatever. I will give you the credit on that one. That y'all deserve this. I can't wait to see how it's going to look. I hope y'all party it up and have fun. Now, I want to talk about the last bit of this segment, And like I said, I didn't get the chance to see boxing, so I have to cut that out. But you guys and girls requested I talk about this, and it's a pretty sad one. And I guess you want to know my opinions on it, so I will talk about it. So let's talk about One China. Yes, right, wrestling, WWE. All right. As we know, China has passed on. And you want to know how I felt about WWE coming out and saying something about it. I felt as though WWE shouldn't have said a damn thing about it. And I say this due to the fact that, as we know, China had a lot of problems. You know what I mean? After WWE. We were finding out that the coroner had said that it was an accidental dose of medication that killed her. It was an accidental overdose. So that's what we're hearing so far. And he says, and it's ruled accidental, meaning she didn't try to purposely take her life. It was an accidental overdose. Now, as we know, WWE, when she left WWE, on very bad terms because what Triple H did to her, between her and Triple H's relationship, and then went over to Stephanie McMahon, we do not need to get into this, okay? What's disgusting is the fact that they gave her the Benoit treatment, all right? They gave her the Benoit treatment and acted like she didn't exist. That's what they did. And then all of a sudden she dies, and now all of a sudden, out of all people who came out and says that Triple H wants to come out and say something, like, fuck you. That's how I feel. As much as I like Triple H as a wrestler, I know we can get into the politics of the business and how he was holding people down, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that. I don't. The fact that he has to understand, he does not, zero self-reflection, does not look in the mirror. He doesn't understand he was the catalyst that started her downfall. He's the catalyst, all right, behavior catalyst. He has to understand that. After that, China started doing drugs. She went into porn. She went over to Japan, started teaching children how to speak, the English language. And I told you before, this is how it is over there. Especially if you're going to get into animation, I said in videos, that's basically going to be your job. You're going to teach people, over there how to speak English. But we know that she was having problems with other wrestlers, and then she had a sex tape, and all that. That's what she pretty much went full on porn after that. But you have to understand, even within all her downfalls and literally wrestling with all her demons, she still found some type of, dare I say, place that she could be happy. And it's sad that a lot of people didn't reach out to her afterwards. Like, we heard that Vince Russo came out, a year ago, he was defending China or something like that. He had just talked to her or something like that. But no one really reached out to her, it seems, on an everyday basis. You know what I mean? And now that she's gone, now everyone wants to come out and say, oh, well, she was great, and she was this, and she was that, and she was blah, 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 blah. And it's disgusting that we see people do this. And we see this every day, actually, in an everyday life. Whether you have friends or family. And we always see, if you come out and say something emotionally, or if you come out and let people know how you feel, oh, you're being too emotional, and that's a bad thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what? Get fucked. Get fucked, all right? You don't have to be so dark and brooding like everyone's fucking Batman all of a sudden. That, in society, that everyone has to be dark and brooding, and they can have no contact with, with human beings, and you're just acting too much like a bitch. No, let's get something straight here, okay? And I'll say this right now, okay? If you have friends, if you have family, go talk to them. And go tell them how you feel about them. Seriously, do that. Don't wait till, this person is gone, I never had a chance to say goodbye. No. You can tell them now how you feel about them. You get what I'm saying? You can do that. You don't have to wait until they're passed on to say, I never had a chance to say this, I never had a chance to say that, I never had a chance to go out with this person and do such and such because they're gone now. You have those opportunities right in front of you now. Don't take them for granted. You do. And it seems like that's what bothers me the most about this. Because how dare WWE come out and say something now after all that time you spent ignoring her as if she didn't exist? That pisses me off. Now all of a sudden you want to come out, we're going to pay our respects, but all those other years you didn't want to pay her, you don't want to pay her any fucking respect, right? Not one. So, yeah. Like I said, zero self-reflection. I felt as though it was absolutely wrong. It'd have been better off for him just to not say anything and just shut up. You know what I mean? We saw Boss Mahoney die not too long ago. People acted the same way with that. You know what I mean? I understand celebrities, and that you're viewing them as celebrities, and they're larger than life, and they're on TV, and they probably had some type of influence in your life. But you have to understand that these type of things, the emotions that you're going through when you see these type of things on Twitter or whatever, and people rest in peace and all that, you do the same thing with people that you do know in real life. I can't tell you how many times I see people walking down the street, and if you look at them, you give them a smile, and you say, hello, you're doing these, and they keep walking. No! If somebody looks at you, smiles, and say hello back. This is what I mean about there's a lot of people out there who are detached from society. And they feel as though they have to, I'm a sociopath, I'm this, I'm this. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. Because it's not that serious. Your brooding, your darkness is not that serious. Okay? There is too many things going on in the world and people trying to get by to worry about your edginess. Don't give a damn. People trying to eat, people trying to keep a roof over their head, they try to have families to feed, they try to make sure friends are okay, make sure that your education is straight, make sure that you pay your bills and all that. When the hell time do you have time to say, oh, I'm so dark and edgy, I can't deal with you people? When do you have time for that? Seriously. Like, come on. Like, people have issues, I understand it, they do. Go get some help. That's all I can say. Go get some help. Go talk to somebody. Maybe you have to realize that the world doesn't revolve just around you. You know what I mean? I don't know. But to see something like that, it did piss me off. It did. I feel it. They said, y'all wanted to know my opinion on it. I'm telling you my opinion. I felt it was disgusting that WWE even say anything. You know what I mean? I just felt it was. It's not classy, especially for what you've done. It'd be one thing if you mentioned China or still brought her around every once in a while, just like you do the rest of these wrestling legends or whatever. That I could understand. You know what I mean? I could understand that. Then you can say something. But the automatically to absolutely shut her out, and it's funny because I saw a lot of people saying, well, she went and did porn and she was doing drugs and stuff, so that's the reason WWE didn't say anything. No, we know why WWE didn't say anything because of the Triple H factor and what happened. But let's get something straight here. Candice Michelle, when she was doing porn, okay, and then they brought her into WWE, no one said anything about that though. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, that's my opinion on it. WWE should be ashamed of themselves for even attempting to say anything. And I understand you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because if you don't say anything, they say, well, look, this woman was the women's champion for a long time. She was a dominant champion. She was an intercontinental champion. You got to say something on it, right? But that's the box you put yourself into when you know you did something wrong and you don't want to fess up to it. And then you automatically, it's almost like like online. You blocked her. That's what you did. So then you don't have to ever see her again. That's what you did. Then when she died, then you had to say something on it. So as far as I'm concerned, you brought this on yourselves. You did. Don't make no damn sense. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm sure the wrestling fans, I'm sure you'll agree there's going to be people disagree. It doesn't matter. I'll talk to you then. Y'all be safe. I'm out.